What's up, guys? Especially you sexy people over there. It's your boy, the Bad Wolf. Now, a lot of you guys have asked me about this, and I've debated about this, and so finally I've kind of sat down to research this. Now, this is not going to be the full gamut, okay? But this is going to get your feet wet. So let's talk about the elephant in the room. But what happens if Washington, D.C., that territory, becomes a state? Hey, Wolf, I never thought about that. What that is? Oh, I'm glad you asked. All right. So first of all, what would Washington, D.C. be called if it became a state? I'm glad you asked. Washington, D.C. Admission Act. Okay, so they're trying. Okay, for whatever the reasons are, which means there's got to be some money involved and some more control. Something's going on. They ain't trying to backpedal out of no power and money. So, but I digress. Would create the state of Washington Douglas Commonwealth, named after Frederick Douglass. Okay, so it would be a commonwealth. Once again, we've heard about commonwealths. Now, I might be wrong, so this is educational information, but I do believe, I think Louisiana and either Pennsylvania or some sections of Pennsylvania and a couple other states, either the whole state's a commonwealth or they've got commonwealth sections within them. Now, I've looked up a lot of stuff to try to break through all this and see what it really is and who owns what. Man, that's dang near impossible, let me tell you. But I will say this. To understand a commonwealth, essentially, it's privately owned. Okay? Still yet. Somebody or somebody's family out there owns it. So if you guys can name names, let me know. Now, I know back in the old days, we used to have civics books, and maybe that's where I should go back to, because they used to talk about this stuff. I just forgot about it. It's been years. But anyway, let's go on. So, let's click here. Alright. Alright then, let's go on, shall we? A new bill aims to give the District of Columbia representation in Congress. Okay. The District of Columbia has a larger population than two states, but while the country's 5 smallest states have 1 House seat apiece, D.C. has none. Okay. Every state has 2 senators. Currently, the Senate has 45 Democrats plus 2 independent senators who caucus with Democrats. There are 53 Republicans in the Senate. If Washington, D.C. is granted statehood, its 2 senators will almost certainly be Democrats, giving the Democrats 49 out of the now 102 seats in the Senate. This will slightly reduce the Republican majority. The Democrats would now only need 2 more senators to have the same number of Republicans. With 2 new Democrats from Washington, D.C., the Democrats only need to win 2 of the Republican seats and hold 11 of their 12 seats to hold a majority in the Senate. Now, you know, here it's all education because we're non-belligerents, non-combatants, and friends with a treaty to the United States Corporation. So, that being said, we're not going to get into all the ins and outs. We're just displaying information here, guys. So, you guys who are out there who are all, I'm red, I'm blue, here's your information, okay? I personally don't care because I am not a federal employee, and so I don't take part in such things. I take part in anything local to my state as a state citizen, but I don't vote in foreign lands and corporations and whatnot, their CEOs and all that stuff. Also, don't forget, guys, are you not entertained? If you're being entertained out there by the news and the celebrityisms and the new whatever coming out, then your noses aren't in books and learning. And if you're entertained, like Caesar says, you can control the masses. So, that being said, Let's take a look at what kind of time are we pushing here. Oh, we're about halfway through. Um, 6 questions about Washington, D.C. statehood you were afraid to ask. Or what does it say? It says, you were too disenfranchised to ask. Ooh, I like this person. Now, this is on Vox. I'm not with them, but this is just their information they put up. So, oh, we got a little ad here going on. All right, all right. So, going through here, obviously I don't get paid for this, but it says they were voting on getting that. Okay. What would DC state look close? God, I hate ads. No, 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 no. Don't you dare go click on that one. Okay. So, oh my God, these ads. Lord have mercy. Okay. The measure would create a new state called Washington Douglas Commonwealth, shortened for Washington, D.C. I thought it used to be District of Columbia, but apparently they're going to push for it to be called Douglas Commonwealth after Frederick Douglass. The people of color will love that one. All right, anyway, so would leave the U.S. Capitol, White House, Supreme Court, and nearby parks and monuments as Federal District of Columbia. So all those areas, the U.S. Capitol and all the White House, Supreme Court, those will all still be considered federal areas. Ooh, did you catch that? Those areas will still be considered federal areas of D.C. Ooh, you see what they did there? That means that those areas, so we will still have a federally owned foreign federal districts, and those areas would still be considered federal. But that area itself would then become an actual state. Okay, so it's almost like diversifying your power, if you will. And then they would have a seat in all the elections and whatever else. Very clever, very clever. All right. So the white, it says, it would look something like this. The red space representing the new state. So all the red here is going to be the new state. Okay? But the white space would be still yet the District of Columbia. So essentially they're going to get some seats in the Senate concerning the reds and the blues, for those of you playing the home game. All right? What's the case for D.C. statehood? D.C. residents would have full representation, which they lack currently in Congress. Congress from interfering in local... Okay, it would also prevent Congress from interfering in local laws that typically don't fall under congressional jurisdiction in any other U.S. city or state. D.C. residents would still have to pay federal taxes, as though even though they have little to no voice in the legislative body that sets. So basically, their people would have a little bit more say, but the people who are governing, operating, are going to have some more power in the House. Okay, keep that in mind. Remember that people don't backtrack, they don't back out of power. Okay, the people can back them out of power, but they themselves never, ever give up power. Statehood would also remove what advocates characterize as Congress's needless meddling in D.C. local affairs. So basically, the people there would have more say-so over their own jazz. What would we say to going against them? Going against that? D.C. is reliant on federal funds, so the government should have a larger say in the local district. So once again, it's a money thing, and also now we see it's a power thing. Okay, I'm not going to read all of the ins and outs. You guys are going to have to Google this for yourself. Why does D.C. have a local government if it's a federal district? Ew, that's a juicy one. Okay, Washington, D.C. has a sitting local government composed of a council, mayor, and local agencies, but this has only been the case for slightly more than 4 decades since Congress passed the Home Rule Act of 1973. Prior to that act, DC Congress set DC's laws, and although only 30 to 60 days of congressional review and depending on the policy, Congress can also block DC's laws through budget requirements. Yeah, okay, so you see that right there? They got their militarized people here in black. We talked about that. All right, so what does it say? The no-knock raids frequently used by SWAT teams today partly originated in Washington, D.C. Okay, so Congress used the district to test out what would be war on drugs policies, such as mandatory minimum sentence, no-knock raids, and methadone clinics, according to blah, 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 the war on drugs. So essentially, they were testing things out there to see how they would go, and then they moved them around. Now remember, guys, these things, you have rights and freedoms. But if you consider yourself to be a federal employee, then you're operating underneath their jurisdiction. So that's why you need to know about your statuses. Is statehood likely to really happen? Probably not. Statehood would need to get the majority of approval from both chambers of Congress and the Republicans. And since D.C. is mentioned in the 23rd Amendment, it just never gained support. So that means that there's still enough people out there who at least know what's going on, or just have a funny feeling or taste in their mouth about, how should we say, letting the devil in the door? Be careful who you sleep with, people. So that being said, remember, all educational information. Take care of yourselves. Do more research out there. Don't forget to hit that bell and subscribe, guys. It's just some more information from the Bad Wolf. And remember, if you guys see somebody out there using this information or a channel calling your boy the Bad Wolf or any of us and use sovereigns or whatever else, which we are not. We are non-citizen U.S. nationals or U.S. nationals as declared by Congress and the Department of State. Report them. Report that video for whatever you guys need to, because as they move, we move. You know what I mean? And to those one or two people out there who have joined and like to give my videos one negative out of like 1,000 whatever. Really? Weird. But to the rest of my wolves out there, love you guys. Take care of yourselves. And I definitely appreciate the support you guys have done. So let's get back at it. We got more information to discover. I'm out.